Judge Annalise Torres, who is one of the judges residing over the SEC versus Ripple case, just came down with a ruling today that Ripple was requesting, in which she denied in part and granted in part. So I'm going to tell you what exactly she's denying, what some people are saying about it, what's the negative that it could mean for Ripple, and what's the positive that it could mean for Ripple, specifically against the SEC. And I'm also going to talk about some of the markets that have been going absolutely nuts lately, specifically Facebook, PayPal, Amazon, and Bitcoin. So I'm going to tell you what they did last night, today, and after hours. Hey everyone, my name is Randy, and welcome back to the Late Night Grind. Right now on the channel, we are covering the Ripple versus the SEC case, as well as other cryptocurrency news, investment markets, and personal finance. So if any or all those topics interest you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, join the Late Night Grind community, and don't forget to hit that bell notification icon so that YouTube will send you a notification when I release a new video. And if you're feeling generous today, I'd appreciate it if you do two things. Smash that thumbs up button and watch this video all the way to the end. Those really are the two best things that you can do to support a YouTube channel. So if you do that, I greatly appreciate it. All right, guys, let's jump into it. So first, what happened in the markets yesterday, today, and after hours? Well, it is complete craziness if you haven't been following along. So yesterday was the deadline for quarterly earnings for companies such as Facebook, Amazon, PayPal, in which they have to report their earnings, in which many investors look to those earnings report to decide if that stock is worth keeping and continue continue investing in it. Well, PayPal started the trend the day before when their earnings was released and it missed their earnings targets, and PayPal cratered. I mean, literally cratered, losing a ton of net worth. Now, that's not a huge issue, as some people think that PayPal is actually somewhat old tech and is on its way out, especially with the uprising of different cryptocurrencies and payment methods, that online banking systems like PayPal might be on their way out, even though PayPal is very Bitcoin and crypto friendly. In fact, they may want to continue down that road if they want to continue to be relevant in the space. And of course, what many people in the social media world have been applauding is the crash of Facebook. Facebook crashed nearly 25%, actually 26% at one point, losing 26% of its value after hours last night when it reported its earnings, and it absolutely cratered, literally within a half hour. And it didn't recover anything. In fact, it basically kept that low level today and actually dropped a little bit more as the day went on. Now, the one thing I thought was interesting was after hours today, Amazon actually shot up after losing about $230 per share during the day in trading. It actually shot up over $400 after hours. Incidentally, the rest of the NASDAQ did as well, and Bitcoin followed suit. At about 4 p.m., Bitcoin shot up about $1,000, basically following what NASDAQ and Amazon did. Just something to keep in mind. And so until Bitcoin and the crypto market decides what it really wants to do for this coming Q1 and Q2, a lot of these markets are actually correlated together. I don't think that's a good thing, but that's what's happening right now. So now let's talk about what Judge Torres has just released regarding the SEC versus the Ripple case. So she actually got back and made a ruling on something that Ripple had actually requested back in June of 2021. Yes, it's taking that long. And if you've been following this case, you'll realize how painfully slow some of these things move. So what did she rule on? Well, Ripple had actually submitted some documents back in June to back up its support of the fair notice defense and actually support their reasons why they believe the SEC's case, which is actually the amended complaint, should be struck down altogether. So what Ripple did was say, here's some documents supporting our case and why we think the case should be struck down. And these documents that they were submitted to the judge, and of course they were submitted in a way that is making them sealed. So what Ripple wanted was for those documents to remain sealed, because, and I remember covering this back in June, it has certain things that talk about their specific business practices, specific employee issues, relationship issues with vendors, things like company procedures and the like, stuff they don't exactly wanting to get out to the public, but things that would support their case versus the SEC. Now, Judge Torres actually went through and said, listen, if these are going to be used for a judiciary proceeding, then they cannot be sealed. Although she is allowing some time for some redactions to take place. So probably names of people, contact information, maybe possibly names of companies or names of vendors are allowing to be redacted. That has to be ready by February 17th. But other than that, she basically denied Ripple's request to seal them, and she said, no, these need to remain unsealed. So what does this do for Ripple negatively? Well, it depends what's in those documents that Ripple wants sealed from the public. I have absolutely no idea what's in them, but like I said, specific business practices, a lot of times big companies don't want their private business practices revealed to everybody else. Now, how is it going to help them or hurt them in the case versus the SEC? Well, Ripple submitted these documents to actually support their case to actually get the SEC's complaint, the amended complaint, the initial complaint, to be struck down. So obviously they submitted these documents because they thought it would help their case, but is it going to hurt them privately? Well, that remains to be seen. But if we do go to trial, some of these documents could come out as they are not sealed. The other part of this ruling was that she is allowing until February 9th, which is only about 6 days away from now, to actually file what is called a surreply, which basically means just a reply to the most recent motion that the SEC has just submitted, in which the SEC has submitted more documentation to support their motion that the judge should actually strike down Ripple's fair defense notice. So it's basically an argument going back and forth regarding the fair notice defense. So Ripple has until February 9th to file a surreply, and I can't wait to read that because typically their replies are absolutely spot on point. So at this point, we actually are not going to know what those documents that Ripple wants sealed, if it's actually going to help them or hurt them, but most likely it's only going to help them in the case versus the SEC. The other part of this is somebody pointed out on Twitter that Judge Torres making this decision to essentially force Ripple to keep these documents unsealed is continuing with what the SEC is doing in making, essentially forcing both sides into keeping their documents as public as possible. So if decisions like this continue, it would seem that they are more pro-Ripple, in that we might actually get to see the 63 emails regarding William Hinman's speech that the SEC is so desperately trying to keep hidden. So if you want to follow along with this case or any of the other cryptocurrency news stories that I cover, make sure you subscribe to the Late Night Grind community. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I will post a link in the description below. You can go and follow me and continue that conversation there. And if you are new to the Late Night Grind community, I'd also encourage you to visit the community tab on my channel. I post polls up there on a weekly, sometimes a daily basis, and I love to know what you guys think about this case, about some of these news stories, and about this crazy cryptocurrency world. So if you haven't visited there, go ahead and participate in some of those polls. I'd appreciate it. And also, one last word, I wanted to talk about the NFT marketplace that is actually almost ready to go. The Sologenic NFT marketplace, which is the first NFT marketplace on the XRP ledger, is almost ready to go. I saw in the Discord server today, someone said that the buy-sell button, in which they had deactivated in order to debug, is being tested today. So it looks like hopefully anytime soon this marketplace will open up. There's currently over 8,000 NFTs that have already been minted on the Sologenic NFT platform. And if you haven't already, go ahead and check it out. And you might want to scope out some NFTs that you might want to grab for yourself, because when this thing launches, there's going to be a lot of buzz. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the thumbs up, all the comments in the section below, and all the discussions that we've been having on Twitter. Don't forget to follow me there. And thanks again for watching all the way to the end of this video. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.